Obamacare light.
Leah thinks she's a rapper.
We're draining this
She's not a rapper.
What up?
Do you want to rap the intro?
No.
Okay. Hey guys, it's Leah Michelle Resistance Chicks coming at you March 24th, 2017. So they decided to the Obama.
Massey posted a picture of him leaving with his friend, and he's like, I'm leaving the swamp today after a long week.
Of filth.
Of filth. Okay, so obviously the healthcare is a failure, and as we brought it to you, there was kind of maybe some art of the deal stuff going on, and that Trump was kind of playing, and Ryan was kind of taking the bag. He's going to take that. He's going to take it, and he's going to walk away. Okay. So first of all, I'm going to get to what Sean Spicer says about it, and we're going to hear what Donald Trump has to say about it. But I want to give you the theory behind it, all right? And thanks to Breitbart, who gave us this theory.
To start with.
Exactly. So Breitbart reporter actually predicted 2 weeks ago the defeat of this American swamp care stupidity and explained that it was a step towards the final actual deal that would repeal and place Obamacare. President Donald Trump faces three irreconcilable factions: the GOP, establishment,
conservatives, Democrats.
And he's got to
bring them together
to deliver the goods. A key rule in the
part of the deal.
Right. But first he must show them the downside and convince them that they will fail on their own.
Which was Trump's plan, I think, all along.
So he's like, I'm going to play with you, we're going to push it forward, and then you're going to fall. And we've reported on that, Breitbart reported on that, and that's exactly what happened. It's just blowing my mind. It's just like so weird to watch things, that Trump's going to do things, and you know he's doing it, and then it happens. It's like, it's nice to know, though, like ahead of time. You know, like my mom, she'll read the end of the book just to make sure it's happy.
She watches the end of the movie.
You know, it's really weird. The most difficult faction to deal with is the Republican establishment, not the Democrats. The swamp. Because you're kind of miry and sticky and yucky and gross. Not because they're strong, but because on policy issues like healthcare, they are convinced that they have all the answers and that Trump just does not understand.
Right.
And not only do they think that Trump doesn't understand, they don't think
we understand.
They
think the American people are incredibly stupid. And I will tell you, there are some incredibly stupid American people, but most of us are not.
Well, and then like Massey was saying, I'm getting 230 calls a day from people saying, no. Right. And Ryan's like, yes, you want it. Okay, we talked about this. So he let them make their first move, right? And he exposed two things about them. First, that they had not come up with a plan that was ready for prime time. All right, take it back to the back, boys. Second, that they had not done any of the political legwork necessary to sell their plan to voters.
So pretty much what he was doing, it was a purely business deal type thing where he's just letting them face plant on a product that they're trying to push, and he just proved you weren't ready and you had no sales pitch ready and you weren't doing any of the work.
Bingo. Some of the names of this reminds me of some of the names you guys have. It cracks me up, like Bingo Bongo. Like somebody's like, Michelle's like, who said that? I said Bingo Bongo. That reminded me of that.
What she means is your handles on YouTube are all very interesting and they make us giggle sometimes.
So when I write you back, it's like, oh, drink your nail polish says.
Oh, but she's so cute. I love her so much.
I know, but it's just hilarious.
Right.
In my head, right? Okay. But Trump will not make the next move. All right? He will let the conservatives move first. So Rand Paul's going to come up.
Thank God.
He's on. He was just on Fox News to explain this at 8 o'clock. I don't have that clip. Hopefully we'll have that clip later. They are big winners in the first round, much more so than the Democrats, who are enjoying the spectacle of Republican dysfunction but have no role to play yet. The conservatives will proceed with their demand for a full repeal of Obamacare, which is what Rand Paul was saying.
Yes.
And then they will face the ire of voters who are deeply unhappy with Obamacare but upset about losing the paltry, expensive health insurance they currently have, which is a really weird mix because it's just crazy. For those of you in the UK, Obamacare has put more people out of insurance, and really all it has done is take those people who were denied medical insurance for health reasons. Those are the only people that are on insurance now.
Right. And poor people.
but there was already a gap for those poor people, like
Medicaid and things like that.
And going to the hospital. So and a lot of these health clinics have a pay scale.
Exactly.
Because if you're on the poor people only got Medicaid, right? Which gives you like no doctors. Okay, we've helped somebody go through a Medicaid situation through years of it. And when we're taking this older person to these doctors, you pull your head out. I mean, you can have Medicaid, but they still put you in the dungeon of University Hospital, right? Because you get interns. You always on Medicaid you get the absolute worst care. So what I'm saying is that it was already bad care anyways. You'd get the same care. It was no care. It's really, really bad care. I mean, Medicare is really bad insurance. It's awful.
Hang on, though. We keep calling it Medicare.
Medicaid.
She means Medicaid. Not that it matters, but there is a difference. Medicare is what the retired people get.
They get everything.
Yeah.
They can do.
Sorry.
That's really good insurance, like the best insurance, right?
Sorry, guys.
And Medicaid is.
We got viewers going, hang on, we don't have Medicare.
Medicaid's for poor disabled people and kids. So anyways, the Democrats would take that deal. Wait a second. Where are we?
I have no idea. I missed it.
That too will strengthen Trump and convince conservatives that they need his leadership. We're talking about going back to trying to
letting it fall on their face.
Whereupon Trump will return to moderate Democrats and offer them a deal, perhaps catastrophic health coverage in exchange for repealing Obamacare. Democrats would take that deal because they would see a government-backed catastrophic insurance system that a possible path to universal health care system of their dreams. Republicans would take that deal after exhausting all their other options because it would leave enough room for the free market to provide insurance for most health issues and for states to experiment with their own policies, and the more healthcare stakeholders who can be brought to the process, the better. To quote Morpheus from The Matrix Reloaded, what happened and couldn't have happened any other way.
I can't believe they just quoted The Matrix. That's
and Sean Spicer's gonna spin his spin, which is what he does. I mean, he's hired to spin.
He's the press stacom secretary, yeah.
That's what he does.
Spin doctor. The first crack at passing legislation crashed and burned in slow motion throughout the day today. The president came before the cameras this afternoon. He was reflective and vowed to forge ahead.
I worked as a team player and would love to have seen it pass, but again, I think I was very clear, because I think there wasn't a speech I made, or very few, where I didn't mention that perhaps the best thing that could happen is exactly what happened today.
I was a team player.
We learned a lot about loyalty. We learned a lot about the vote-getting process. We learned a lot about some very arcane rules in, obviously, both the Senate and in the House. So it's been, certainly for me, it's been a very interesting experience. But in the end, I think it's going to be an experience that leads to an even better healthcare plan.
Hello, the president. After a pretty rough day, joining me now, a man who no doubt has had a very busy day, White House Press Secretary Sean Spicer. Sean, good to see you. Thank you for being with us.
You bet, Martha.
So, we watched you yesterday. You said we're going to vote and we're going to pass. We're going to pass this bill. And then we saw you today say there absolutely will be a vote and it will happen at 3:30. And then we all watched as that fell apart and the vote was pulled. What happened in between your last podium appearance and that fact?
Well, Speaker Ryan came and updated the president where the votes were. His team, including Majority Leader McCarthy and Congressman Scalise, the whip in the House, have been spending a lot of time talking to members, as well as the president and his team, the vice president, chief of staff Reince Priebus, Steve Bannon, Mick Mulvaney, and Tom Price had all been working the phones, been up and down on Capitol Hill, and frankly, we had about 10 or 15 people that we weren't sure that were going to be with us, and the Speaker ultimately decided it was better to pull the bill. But I think clearly the message today, the dissent is, Democrats own Obamacare. We got zero support from Democrats in this process. And the Obamacare, which is, the message is still the same. It's a failing system, skyrocketing premiums and deductibles and fewer choices, but is now squarely in the hands of Democrats that own this.
I want to ask you about this process because the president talked about loyalty. He said we learned something about loyalty. That brings to mind the House Freedom Caucus, the conservatives who you guys fought very hard to get on your side, and then immediately when this thing went down, you see tweets from Jim Jordan, let's get started, we're ready to get this process restarted for repeal and replace. What do you feel when you hear that?
Well, I think the president said it best earlier today. He's a bit disappointed. He worked really hard, and he gave all of those members of the Freedom Caucus, as well as, frankly, all the members of the House Republican Conference, from the Tuesday group to the conference to the Republican Study Committee, an opportunity to have their voice heard, to have their ideas put into the bill. I think he not only acted in good faith, but he went above and beyond to make sure that ideas strengthened the bill and sought to ensure that the goal that we all set out was achieved. But this...
So you can kind of get where this whole thing is going. I just want to let you guys know, and you can look at the situation. We're not dumb and stupid. This was on the table very recently. They pushed it through just to get it done and over with.
Yeah.
This is all a dog and pony show. And if you're sitting there saying, "Mommy, look at the fleas, look at the fleas," you're just enjoying.
That's a
looking at
quote
the
from
fleas.
Jurassic Park. I love that you think everybody knows that.
This is all a game, you guys. Nobody hashed it out. They had to put Ryan's thing through. Ryan actually went up. It's the idea if they could have just kept hashing it out, you guys. But he wanted to put it to the vote. It's
right.
all a game. You know, it was like kind of like, you know what? You're cleaning your house, right? And you're like, just get that stupid area done. Just get that done and out of the way.
Trump made it very clear by one of the major things that he just said was there wasn't a speech that I gave, or rarely a speech that I gave, that I didn't say.
I'm a team player.
That, you know, it might just be the best thing.
I'm going to tell you what kind of player you are, Donald Trump. You a player. Is what you are. You're a player.
He played this one.
He played this like a hand of cards. He played his poker thing, and now he's like, deal me in, next round.
And I have to tell you, Lee and I have said this over and over again, we didn't vote for Trump. We are always, I think, until like probably 2 years in or 3 years, we're very skeptical. We're in the wait and see camp, but we have always brought you the things that we feel that Donald Trump is doing correctly and the things that we feel that he's doing incorrectly.
We're
when
winning.
he started pushing
for Obamacare,
this Obamacare light,
made us
Lee
go,
and I went, hold up a minute.
Wait a minute.
We actually talked about, I'm going to be perfectly honest now that this is over, Lee, and I can tell you this. We didn't touch this on purpose. We talked to Mama Peanut, whatever we can't call her that now, Patriot Mama. About it, and she's like, don't cover this, girls, because we weren't sure where it was going to go, and we don't really ever want to bring you guys something, that's going to cause stir for no reason, because if we were to have brought you this previously, we would have had to say, this is wrong. And we kind of did, we hinted at it, but to like really give you a whole segment, this is wrong, Donald Trump should not be pushing this is insanity, but we laid off of it on purpose because we were like, I don't know, we need to wait and see where, because Breitbart had hinted that this might be a game that Trump is playing, and we wanted to wait and watch that play out, and we are almost convinced that that's exactly what he did.
Good things are happening in our country right now.
Yes.
We are winning. Every time I turn around, I have goosebumps. We are winning. This is a win. We just drained a part of the swamp.
Yes.
We exposed the swamp for who they are. It's never played out like this before, you guys.
Right.
This does not happen. You know when it does happen? It happened for the Democrats. You know, it happened with Roe v. Wade. It happened with taking prayer to schools. It happened with all the crazy legislation that we don't even know about that's gotten through.
Can we back up for those, and I'm not saying that anybody is stupid because this is kind of a hard process to follow, but could you back up just for a minute and explain to the people why them not voting on this and it being a failure, why that is such a good thing? Because I think maybe some people don't quite understand.
Okay, so Trump came in and he was bam, 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 bam. I'm going to get this done. I'm going to get this done. And everybody kept saying, and he knew that if he didn't hit Obamacare on, straight on, right? And what did he run on? Everywhere he went, he said the same thing.
Right.
And he said, well, we could just repeal it, but, you know, then that would leave some people with a gap. Or we could just let it implode, and then he would say, but that's not the right thing to do, even though it would put the blame on the Democrats, right? So what he was saying is, I want to do a repeal and a replace right away together. So this would have been that ugly mesh, right? And he had to let the Republican leadership, which is Speaker Ryan, right, bring forth his crazy, crazy plan. And so basically, Speaker Ryan had this bill and they were hashing it out and they were trying to make it work, or if they were trying to make it work, what's going on? I don't believe Massey would lie to us. Okay,
No
so,
way. No
so
way.
when I listen to Massey and I hear him say,
The votes aren't there.
well, when I hear him say this is really happening, like, the question is even Ryan lying to us?
Right.
You know what I mean? Is this
Yeah.
even just a big game out of all of them?
Right.
Okay. Or was Ryan? His heart was not behind this. It didn't feel like this was like a
Right.
big thing. So it was like a staged thing for us, but the way that they did it, they had to do it because it was the only way to take down the globalist establishment.
So now moving forward, what happens? Because there's been no vote. We keep talking about it imploding. What does the implosion look like? What plays out from here?
Well, right now, you start over from scratch. So there's two things that can happen, which is allow other conservatives to come up with another bill, and Rand Paul has a bill.
suggestion. Leah
Right.
and Michelle have their own suggestion for what that should look like. We could
Exactly.
submit that as well. The farming and eating healthy and allowing people
Right.
to care for
Exactly.
themselves kind of bill.
Well,
Yeah.
part of that, he actually is doing that. I will listen today that he is cutting billions of dollars from, not the FDA,
The USDA.
not the USDA, the people, I'm sorry that I can't remember, I'm going to have to figure that out, but from the medical establishment as they push medicines. I'm sorry that I can't remember it off the top of my head. But in essence, it would get Trump is going to drain the swamp by draining, look at his proposed budget. It drains like PBS. It drains everything. It drains it without shutting them down. It's taking away their funding away. No. So all these FDAs and all these DAs, we don't need them, right? So anyways, CDCs. So anyways, there's that. But where do we go from here? They just start over. They're going to do their thing as, I trust Rand Paul and Massey to come up with something that is not going to harm average Americans and their
Right.
liberty-minded people.
Right.
And we have the push. It started with the Tea Party a little bit, but now it's just regular, anti-globalist, liberty-minded people.
Right.
And I actually feel sorry for the libertarians who are stuck in the middle, because most of them, a lot of them, they couldn't vote for Trump. And they still have a hard time getting behind him. But don't worry. We're going to take down the globalists, and you will have the benefits too. Even though you weren't on our team.
I like how you say we.
We as
We feel like we're there.
resistance. Well, they just throw their hands up in the air and just like blame everybody without ever taking action, without saying Trump's doing this. A lot of the libertarians say Trump's a fascist, he's a Nazi. I mean, the guy who ran on the libertarian ticket was even saying we're trying to take votes away from
that
Trump.
guy's ridiculous. Gary Johnson.
Yeah. So anyways,
Okay.
this is long.
No,
Sorry,
this was
guys,
fantastic. I think they enjoyed it. You guys enjoyed it, right? Raise your hand if you enjoyed it.
if you're with us still. Okay.
All right, we love you guys. This is Leah Michelle signing off for Resistance Chicks, where it's not a conspiracy theory if it's the truth.
If Obamacare, swamp care is going down. Both of them are
We
going
need to make a
down.
Draining the Swamp song.
Oh.
Okay, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to Mass Faith 3 and Resistance Chicks. Ring the bell for notifications. And find us on Facebook and Twitter. God bless.